All right, hey, it's Matt BlindGuysGarage, and today a friend of mine brought me a 90 Ford F-150. Just told me it's got a lot of random things going on with it, so we'll tell you what we got, and we'll try to make one single video out of this, just knock it out real quick. If there's something important, we'll bring it back for multi videos, but to start with, it's a 90 F-150 302 with a 5-speed. Truck runs great, nothing wrong with that, but the brake lights aren't working, or sorry, the reverse lights are not working. That should be an easy fix. The AC is not blowing cold. The compressor's clicking on, but it's not blowing cold. Low on Freon. We're going to run a check on it and see if we can figure out where it's leaking and why. But it's done this for years. About every year and a half, you got to put Freon in it. And I personally haven't been able to find a leak, and I think it's the evaporator coil in the dash leaking. So if it is, and it's still holding Freon, we're probably not going to touch that. And the next thing is the blinker switch. It's working, but it's not holding itself down. So when you click it to turn left signals, it's not holding itself down. So we'll check that. And the washer fluid sprayers aren't working. So we'll check that out too. So let's jump into it. Let's bring the truck on in. Alright, well, it might be a little loud with the truck running. You can hear the AC compressor's running. Let's lean over here and take a check of the gauges. And once it drops below that about 35 mark, it says now. Oh, it drops below 25 and then drops and then turns back off. Hey, there's plastic on my gauge right there. There we go. And so we just don't have enough Freon in the system. The question is why. Alright. Shut the truck off. What it is, I filled these things with some soapy water, and I don't see a bunch of fresh bubbles. It's not bubbling back over the top, so that one's not leaking. It just had a little pressure behind the cap, which is common. That does happen. Same thing over here. Let's take a look at him real quick. Same thing. We filled it with a little soapy water. It's not pushing back out real heavy and bubbly bad. It's just what's there. So that sister's not leaking. So now let's check the rest of the system. But like I said, I think it's the evaporator coil in the dash, because it's been doing this for a couple years now. All right, it's gonna be a little loud. Now, this is me simulating driving conditions. This is not how I charge the system. As you know, I'm legally blind, don't drive. So here we go. So this is driving conditions simulated. Here's our pressure chart, which looks pretty good. We'll flip the fan off, so we'll go back to as if we're sitting in traffic idling, and watch the pressures move and change. We're looking for, it's about 85, 87 degrees outside, so on the high side, I don't pay that much attention to the low side, more of a spec check than anything. On the high side, you're looking for somewhere around 240-ish, you know, 225 to 250, give or take, maybe a little higher. But at this temperature outside, you really shouldn't see less than 225 psi, which we're sitting almost dead up on 225. I'm gonna let it run for just a minute more, and then I'll shoot the rest of that can in there, which should put us right where we need to be. Looking at about 230 right now. So let's set you up right here. Grab the can. When you put the Freon in, you want to swirl the can in a circular pattern. Freon pressure sitting at 230. $235. $240. Almost out, so we're gonna let her run on up into about the 245-ish range. So sitting almost at 250. And then over here we're sitting at about 37. Now there's also something to remember, this is an R12 system that has been converted to 134A. Typically an R12 system would sit about 45 to 50 PSI here. So, I mean a 134A system. Now let's check inside the truck real quick. I'm not gonna lie, it feels quite nice in here. I'm not gonna stand here too long because the radio's going, but there it is. Let's step outside and simulate driving conditions real quick. Watch the pressure chart and step back in the truck and make sure that it does its job. So now we're going to a driving condition. Turn the fan on high. Okay, hurry up. All right, so 250 and 37-ish is where we were. And you'll watch the pressures drop like a rock. All right. Well, looks like we've dropped down to, like I said, about 215 and right around that 30 mark, 32. All right, I'd like to take a quick brief intermission on the current project we're working on, just to ask y'all to like, share, subscribe, and leave us a comment on the videos, as it helps the channel grow and lets me know what y'all like and don't like about the videos, as well as when you leave a comment, I'm guaranteed to reply, because I reply to every comment left in the videos. So there you go. Let's now return to our current project. All right. Well, now we're going to work on the reverse light issue real quick, and I'll see you under the truck. I already know what's wrong, but we'll show you. All right, here we are under the truck. You can see the drive shaft right here, tail shaft of the trans. So what we're going to do is we're going to look up in the hole right here. I'm going to try to get the best camera angle I can. See if I can reach up right here on the side of the transmission. All right, right here on the side of the transmission where my hand is, you'll see a wiring harness. It runs up. There's the plug. Well, let's unplug it, and then I'll see you a little lower here. Just push the clips out, pull it down. All right, unplug it, and it'll drop down here below everything. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to take, it's a 2-pin plug. We made a little jumper lead out of just a piece of wire. We're going to jump the plug right here. Sorry, I'm looking through the camera. It doesn't work very well. And we're going to jump the plug with this side. It'll look something like this when you're done, and then just let it dangle towards the ground so it won't touch nothing, and we'll go outside the truck. Just lean in, turn the ignition switch on. Now let's go check the back of the truck. There you go. Reverse lights work. So we know the switch is bad and the lights work, because when you put it in reverse, the lights don't work. So let's change the switch. Here's what the switch actually looks like. Just a little push button. Simple. Let's go change it. Oh yeah, takes a 7/8 socket. Let's do it. All right, less than 2 minutes later, old switch, 7/8 socket. Let's go in the truck now and turn the ignition switch on. Switch on. Reverse. Now let's take a look. We now have reverse lights. Now let's reach in here and knock her out of reverse and make sure they go away. All right, neutral. And they're gone. They work like they're supposed to. So now let's move on to the next thing. All right, well, I didn't video any of the blinker switch because honestly there's nothing to it. I took it, steering column apart. There you go. Took the steering column apart, loosened the bolts, checked it. The switch was working fine. It just was, this one's slotted, which you don't see very often. Adjusted it, and it works just fine now. So now that's all I did. That's a simple job. 2 Phillips head screws on the back of the horn button. Pull it off. I don't know what size that one is, 13/16 I think, for the steering wheel. Pull the steering wheel. I'll bring it right back. Alright, phone ring, sorry. So that fixes that. We fixed the AC yesterday. Y'all know how that went. Neutral safety, the reverse light switch, y'all saw that. That's easy, right on the side of the transmission, easy to do. And then the blinker, the wiper switch. So now we got low, and we got high. So that works like it's supposed to, and we got sprayers. See? Well, let's wipe that off real quick. Alright, so what I did with this is it's a very simple thing. Pull this cover off. There's a little Allen head that holds this off. You pull him off, and then this guy pulls straight off real easily, except I'm trying to rip the whole thing off. So this guy just pulls straight off. Nice and simple. I'm going to spray the windshield again, not trying to. So it's got a 5/8 nut, and on this truck what had happened is the pulse module, wiper pulse module, whatever they call that thing, has went bad for the intermittent wipers, and since that has went bad, that has caused the wipers to only work on high and to not return to their normal spot as they are now. How do they work on now? Yeah, so as they are now. So I looked up a pulse module, and they're about 150 bucks online, and then the switch was bad also, and that's another 60 bucks here at the local car stores, which I did buy one, but so short version of the story is it's cost over 200 bucks to fix it. So what we did here, he drives this truck to work and home. It's about 8 miles a day, if that. It might actually, I think it's less than that, probably more like 5 miles a day. And I talked to him about it. So what we did is we just converted it back to 2-speed wipers. So as you see, it has no position going in the other direction anymore. So now it's got 1, 2, and spray. So that's what he wanted. He's got it fixed, and either which way, that gets it going for the next, until we get a pulse module, if he chooses to do that. So if he tells me he wants to get a pulse module, I'll order a pulse module, and then we'll replace that switch with a intermittent wiper switch. So I mean, it's really a very easy thing. You unplug the pulse module from the pulse box and plug in the factory non-intermittent wiper switch into the thing, and there you go. I didn't even take the pulse board out. It's still right here behind the dash, right about here. So we'll see. If he chooses to put it in later, we can, but at least that gets him back going. He's back on the road, and he'll be happy for a little while. So I guess that's it for now. As you can tell, the truck's running. The AC is working. Old truck, old tires, but you know, good old truck. So I got the last piece to put in. This cover right here goes right here on the bottom of the dash. I'll cover it, and it's gonna be good to go. So I'll finish that up, and I guess I'll catch y'all in the next one. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Later.